Hey guys, it's Callie and welcome back to my channel, and today we're talking about gay pirates. So usually at the end of an anime season, I post a video saying which series I watched and kind of my thoughts about them. But to be honest, I haven't really watched a lot of anime this season. And that's not to say that this season is bad, I just haven't really been that motivated to watch anime lately and I've just been kind of busy with other stuff. But I have watched a handful of shows that I've either fallen in love with or have a lot of thoughts about, so I just wanted to film a video kind of talking about some shows that I've really been enjoying lately. Also, if you're new to my channel, hello, thank you for stopping by. I make a lot of videos about anime and animated shows, but I think moving forward I will be making content that also includes other forms of media. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you can see more. Alright, that'll do it for the intro, so let's get into it, starting with So recently on Twitter, I saw a lot of people talking about this show, and the kind of general description was just gay pirates, which honestly say less. So if you haven't heard of Our Flag Means Death, a quick TLDR is that it's about a rich aristocrat who abandons his life of luxury to be a pirate, and the adventures of him and his misfit crew. It also stars Taika Waititi, who co-created the What We Do in the Shadows movie, which I have not seen, but I have seen the FX series and love it, so I'm sure the movie's great as well. I think he's also known for starring in a Marvel movie, but I don't know, I've seen like 2 Marvel movies, whatever. And after watching the show, I can genuinely say it's one of the best things that I've seen in a good long while, and I just need to talk about it because it has done something to my brain. The show overall is incredible. It's a period piece set on the ocean, so the setting is really cool, and you can tell that a lot of detail went into picking out the sets, the clothing options, and kind of just the color choices for the series. The writing is really clever and witty, but still maintains this silly and goofy vibe, and it's just so fun to watch. I also adore their use of music in this series, and I think the entire soundtrack is really impeccable. All the songs fit so well, and they had a really fun combination of modern tracks mixed with kind of piratey harpsichord songs, which I do love me a good harpsichord. But where the series really shines is with its characters, because they're all so unique and silly and strong and gay. Our Flag Means Death? No. Our Flag Means Gay. So on top of just being a great TV show overall, everybody in the show also just so happens to be queer. It really reminds me of Noelle Stevenson's method to writing, which is assume all the characters in my comics are gay unless they did otherwise. Because there's so many queer characters and healthy queer romance that just happens without any big setup or dramatic cutting out scene. It's really just everybody living their best pirate life true to who they are. The whole thing just feels like a love letter to the queer experience and queer romances, and it's all just so fucking heartwarming, I can't take it. I have not had such a strong emotional response to a show since I first watched Haiku, which, should tell you something. It has also taken every fiber of my being not to turn my Twitter into an Our Flag Means Death stan account, but my willpower is decreasing with every fan cam I see. I don't want to go into too many details about the show because I don't want to spoil anything, and part of the fun about this show was just experiencing it for yourself, but I can't recommend it enough. You can tell the show is made with so much love and care, and it's just so fun to watch these dumb little gay pirates and their dumb little adventures. So if you love pirates, you love gay pirates, or you're a fan of the humor and What We Do in the Shadows, I really think you'd enjoy this show, and I highly suggest checking it out. So as I previously mentioned, I didn't watch a lot of anime from this season. I mean, I did watch a little bit of the badminton anime, but I don't really have anything else to say about it other than, hot guys playing sports. But one series I did keep up with, and I'm kind of surprised that I finished, is My Dress Up Darling. It's about a high school boy who befriends his popular classmate and helps her out with her various cosplays. It's also got a good sprinkling of romance because, why else would I watch a show? And I don't know how to describe this series other than it's just really cute. I thought the concept was adorable, the characters were really loving and endearing, and the animation is outstanding, which, just look at it. That being said, I have seen a fair amount of people say they stopped watching the show because the fan service made them uncomfortable, and I can really see where they're coming from. The show has a lot of fan service. Like a lot. And if you've watched my channel, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of fan service, and it usually kind of turns me off from a show. However, I surprisingly wasn't that upset with the fan service, and I think it's because, in my opinion, they did it pretty well for the most part. Emphasis on the most part. A good chunk of the fan service is used to highlight how this teenage boy is basically having his sexual awakening, and I feel like it makes sense in terms of the story that they're trying to portray. It didn't feel extremely necessary, but rather kind of as another way to display the awkwardness that kind of comes from being a teenager with, raging hormones. But that's not to say that the show didn't have a lot of unnecessary fan service. The entire middle chunk of the anime, specifically, just had so much unnecessary, underwear shots and semi-nude high school girls, and at one point I felt like it was turning into a harem anime, so I don't know what happened there. But for me, the story and the overall vibe of the show outweighed the fan service and convinced me to continue watching it, and I really did enjoy watching the story. It also kind of made me want to get back into doing cosplay because it just reminded me of how much fun it can be. So yeah, if you're looking for a lighthearted romance and don't mind a good bit of fan service, I suggest checking this series out. So really quick, while the other sections of this video are pretty spoiler-free, I will be going into specific details and spoilers for Bridgerton Season 2, so if you don't want to see any of those, just go to the next section of the video. Now, when I first watched Bridgerton Season 2, I was a little bit concerned because it had been so long since I watched the first season, and I was honestly unsure if I would still enjoy it. Plus, unlike the first season, which focused on Daphne finding love with this hot duke, this season would focus on her less likable brother Anthony, who I hate, more on that later, but my worries were unjustified, and I thought it was a really good season overall. The drama was still there, the yearning was very noticeable, and the characters were still able to toe the line between endearing and toxic. I also love the Sharma sisters, they were really great character additions, and I've heard a lot of people praise the show for its representation of South Asian culture, such as the use of specific jewelry, the holiday ceremony, and the significance of Anthony putting on Kate's bangles, just to name a few. I did enjoy the season overall, and it was a good season. I just don't like Anthony. Come at me, Christine. Now don't get me wrong, I understand that Anthony has been through a lot. It is a lot to see your dad die and to suddenly take on the responsibility of managing an entire household as like a teenager, and at times his family lacks any empathy for him, and don't even get me started on his mother and how she handled herself both then and now. I don't know, I just felt like he was still making terrible decisions at every turn, and his redemption arc just did not do it for me. I don't know, maybe it's the older sibling in me projecting, but I just don't like the guy. I also couldn't focus on the romance as much this season because the love triangle made me so stressed. Like, I guess there was one last season between Daphne and the Duke and the Prince, but this season it was just so much worse because it was between Anthony, Kate, and her sister. I was just so anxious about what was gonna happen that I just couldn't even properly enjoy the yearning. I also didn't really like giving Eloise a love interest, not only because I had been headcanoning her as gay, but she's also really vocal about not buying into the whole marriage ball thing, and giving her an edgy love interest just really sounded like those arguments of, oh, you just haven't found the right person, and oh, you'll change your mind eventually. To be fair, the show is based on a novel series where every Bridgerton child finds love, so like, it's not too unexpected, and the next season will probably be about Eloise finding somebody to marry, so I guess I just have to accept the series as it is. And the final show that I've been watching lately is Kotaro Lives Alone, and my god, this show is a lot. I had seen a few scenes on TikTok, and after finishing Our Flag Means Death, I was feeling particularly masochistic and decided to check the show out. And oh boy, it did not disappoint. It's about a 4-year-old boy who lives alone and his daily life as he moves into his new apartment complex. And the show does an amazing job at finding a balance between being both heartfelt and heart-wrenching. Because on one hand, this 4-year-old boy is living alone for a reason, and there are a lot of things that resulted in him being in the situation, and it's just honestly so sad and hard to watch at times. But at the same time, you're seeing this child feel supported and loved and safe and comfortable enough to act like a child for the first time, even if it's only for a little bit. This series is honestly one of the most emotionally driven stories I've seen in a good long while. They're able to convey such a tragic and heartbreaking scenario in a really palatable and kind of semi-lighthearted way, and I think that's something that's really difficult to do. So if you got some extra time to kill and want to be emotionally damaged, I suggest checking this series out because it's honestly really, really good. So yeah, those are some of the shows I've been watching lately. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe if you aren't already, and let me know what you guys think. If you watched any of the shows that I talked about, what were some of your opinions of them? Or if you watched any anime from the season that you really enjoyed, be sure to let me know as well. I did watch a little bit of Sasaki to Miyano and Salaryman's Club, but I just didn't have a chance to finish them. One show I do really want to watch is Sabuki Bisco because I honestly enjoyed the first episode and it seems like really chaotic and fun, and I do want to see where the story goes. I do read all the comments, and I really do love hearing what you guys think about certain shows. I just sometimes don't have enough energy or spoons to respond. But honestly, if you guys have ever commented on any of my videos, it really does mean a lot, and I love hearing what you guys think, so just thank you for that. That'll do it for this video. If you guys want to keep up with me on any other socials, you can find me on Twitter or Twitch. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! So if you haven't heard of Our Flag Means Death, a quick... Oh my god, that scared the shit out of me.